The Hurt Locker. It won Best Picture of 2009. It won Catherine Bigelow her award for Best Director. Became the first female director to win the award, which is quite something, quite an accolade. This is a very good movie. Definitely, definitely a suspenseful and involving film that I do think captures like a human element within a war setting. This obviously takes place in the Iraq War. Main character is played by Jeremy Renner, and his experience is a bomb diffuser, and the horrible tense scenes. Like there's like three big scenes in this movie that are horribly tense, and really keeps you at the edge of your seat. But aside from that, I mean, it is a very human story, and kind of the interesting thing about it is that it's strange in this day and age. It's not necessarily an anti-war film. It's not, but it's not like a pro-war film either. I mean, it doesn't doesn't make it seem like it's this great wonderful thing. But I guess if it had if the movie has any kind of political stance whatsoever, it's more along the lines of someone who would say, I don't support the war, but I do support the troops, kind of something like that, because it is centered on this main character, Jeremy Renner, who earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor for it, and it is about his experience and how essentially in regular day to day life, he's just average guy. He's picking up groceries, whatever, changing his kids' diapers, But out there in the shit, he's a badass wearing that suit. He's must be making a difference, I guess. But the characters don't really talk about any of the issues. Like, there's no scene where it's like, why exactly are we here? What are we doing? Nothing that schmaltzy or anything like that. But it is kind of interesting with Renner's character, how he is a wild card character, and everyone kind of his reputation basically precedes him. They know he's unpredictable and dangerous. So I think in a kind of way that that character symbolizes war itself. It is unpredictable. It is dangerous, and it seems that it will always have a purpose, whether we like it or not. It just seems to be the case. And it's shot in a very kind of intimate kind of way. Like you do kind of feel like a fly on the wall with the action. So Catherine Bigelow's direction is very well done. And again, the scenes in this movie are incredibly tense, with the bomb diffusing and that one sniper scene where Ray Fiennes makes an appearance. So I thought it was very good. And I don't know, it's as a thriller with a more human side, as a war thriller. I think it's very good, but I don't necessarily think it should have won Best Picture. I mean, this was the first movie to win after they did the whole thing where it's like, okay, 10 movies can be nominated that year. So of course, kind of the big the big thing about that year was that, okay, the two front runners were kind of this movie which won, and Avatar. um, James Cameron and Catherine Bigelow, they were married. They were ex-husband and wife, so they made it into this kind of like, oh, jilted lovers competing for an Oscar kind of thing. It was kind of silly, but whatever. But I mean, this is the same year where we had Inglorious Bastards and A Serious Man, Up in the Air. All of them I thought were better movies. But I mean, it's not necessarily a bad movie, but I just think it doesn't achieve greatness. At least I wouldn't note this as say top 10 best war films. I think if there is a definitive film, a definitive story, it's going to be told about uh, a soldier's experience or military experience, specifically about the Iraq War. I don't think it's happened quite yet. I don't, but I mean, this is a good movie as is, but not quite achieving greatness. Only because maybe because it doesn't take any kind of stance. I mean, I think it's not focused on that. It's not supposed to be about that. But you kind of feel like okay, I like this character. I'm invested in him, but what else is there? Is there some kind of grander scheme of things going on? I mean, does he have any feelings about the war itself? But I mean, that's not the story that they're meaning to tell. But I think because it doesn't do anything kind of extra, it maybe falls short of greatness. But I think it's an excellent film. either way, I mean, again, as a military thriller, as something that has very thrilling scenes and does have a very human element, I think it's top notch. Jeremy Renner, of course, this was his breakthrough role. He's great in the movie, well deserving of the Academy Award nomination he received. The movie won Best Screenplay too, which I'm thinking, really, Inglourious Basterds was also nominated that year. You guys know that, right? Not a particularly great screenplay. I think more in the execution through the direction and the editing and the great cinematography. But the story itself, I mean, it's not incredibly unique or great in any way, but I do think it's worthy of praise. But I don't think it's one of the best movies to win the Academy Award. But it's definitely a good movie. So I definitely say if you haven't seen it, dude, you gotta watch it. I mean, you're definitely in for a thrill at the very least, and a great performance by Jeremy Renner, who's just excellent in the movie. So there's that at least. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on The Hurt Locker. Good movie, really good movie, but not like one of the best. So I guess that's how I'll put it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and more to come.